on, people? There's my new sword and my review. If you haven't guessed what this is a Ryan sword. And I know most of you that know me probably just hit the floor at just hearing that I paid for a Ryan sword. Let me explain why I did it. I wanted a sword that was light, that was rugged, could take an edge, could keep an edge, could have a longer ska, better fittings than the Uki, but would perform similar to it. Sometimes I like a long ska, and this one is about, I think it's like 13 or 14 inches, I can't remember, but it's pretty long. And what having a ska this long does is it makes the point of balance crazy. Like, the point of balance is literally right there. It's an inch long. I mean it's an inch from the Habaki. It makes it really maneuverable, quick, deadly, whatever you want to call it. It's lightning fast, in other words. This sword was designed by Donnie Reed when he was still with Ryan Sword, and I always kind of liked it. Donnie and I had kind of a falling out, and it actually involved Ryan Sword. But I won't get into that. I still think a lot of him, and I still think he's a very good swordsman and all that jazz. Anyway, back to the sword. It's T10 differentially hardened. You can see the hamon. The Ito is leather, but it's reverse, so the rough side's out. Now, the reason Donnie designed it like that was because if you're any kind of a trick cutter or backyard cutter or bottle cutter or whatever you want to call yourself, freestyle, whatever, your hands get wet. Mine do. And what this does, it get the grip on it. When I first looked at it, I thought it was going to be like rough, but it's rough, but it's soft, and you can tell right there it's not even wanting to bounce on the stand because the point of balance is so short. But it's just, the grip is perfect. In person, it looks really good. It looks really badass. In some of the pictures, it may look like, what the hell are you thinking? But it's a purpose sword. It's not meant to be put on display for decoration. The geometry, I think I'm saying this right, is Mohara, something Zukuri. Anyway, it's similar to Unokubi, as you can see right here, but there's actually an edge right there, which I have not sharpened it, and I will not sharpen it. At least until I get used to the swords. I don't want to cut myself. I forget what sword I'm using, and I try to do a Noto with this thing, and I would probably lose a finger or two. The tip is also very nice because it's going to make it harder to chip off, like if you're doing, thrusts or stuff, because it's dual edged right here. The bottom part down here is sharp. You can see that part of the blade's actually got a hamon too. If I can get the camera to cooperate. Anyway, it's differentially hardened down here, and in the middle, it's whatever. The HRC on this, according to Donnie, it was over 60 and below 65. So it's really hard steel. But as you're about to see, it's very thin. You can barely even see it when I turn it like that. The blade is so thin. It kind of looks like it's bent, but it's not. It has a habit. My phone does not like to look at swords from the back for whatever reason, but it's not bent. The first cut I did with it, I had two bottles stacked up, and I did a double horizontal. Both bottles stayed on the stand. I cut the bottom one, the top one fell in, and then I came back, and then the top part popped up and then fell over. The only thing that hit the ground was the very top of the bottom bottle. Once I cut it, it went over here, and then the top bottle fell. Well, you'll see it in the video. Anyway, never mind. There's no point in talking about it. The Same is painted black, and it's a full wrap, which makes the grip a lot better, I guess. So full Same, This, I believe, is some kind of iron or brass. It feels really sturdy. The Habaki, I believe, is painted brass. I don't know. Like I said, T10, differentially hardened. It took a stupid sharp edge. I didn't have to start at a low grit. Started at 1200. And it's hair shaving, paper swiping. And this is after the cutting session. Now, mind you, in the video, I was cutting through some pretty thick jugs, like those beer bottles I drink. I mean, those beer bottles I drink the beer out of, whatever you want, you know. Anyway, those are really hard, you know, thick, hard plastic. So yeah, it did really well. For the rest of this, so you're probably wondering why Ryan Sword? Why did I buy from such a terrible sword brand or whatever? The reason is simple: is they're the ones that had the sword that I was interested in. Do I like Ryan Sword? No. Would I recommend you buy from them? Hey, it's your money. You can do what you want to do. It's kind of a crapshoot. I mean, you may get a sword, because I put this one through its paces. My first Ryan sword had a crack in it. I didn't know it. I thought it was a scratch, and when I sold it, it turned out it was a crack. So anyway, long story short, you may get a good sword, you may not. All those swords that you see on eBay, like from Saint Nahonto and all those other endless sword companies, they're all from the same place. They're all from the same forge in Longquan, China. They're just, you know, different names or whatever. It's all Ryan sword, basically. Would I recommend this one? Once again, it's a crapshoot. You know, I don't know if the sword that you get is going to be like that one. If I could guarantee you that the sword you order is going to be an exact duplicate, like freaking clone DNA of this one, then sure, that's what you want. You know, I'm just reviewing a sword I bought, and judging from where I got it, I feel I kind of owe an explanation to people I talk swords with, because they're probably, you know, thinking about excommunicating me around that. But it's okay. You know, it was my money, it was my sword, my choice. The whole thing about the lamination, I don't know. I'm not that much of an expert on the whole, I think it's Sanmei lamination, whatever it's called, that they do. But basically it turns out they were using a fake method or a false method or whatever. So it's kind of a shady company to work with. I will say this: I was given a discount on this for reasons I will not say. I'm not going to start anything on YouTube. I'll just say I was given a discount on this piece. You know, I saved about $30 on it to buy it brand new. They did have a price decrease on this. I think it's like $280 now, something like that, $270. So like I said, it's up to you. Will never recommend Ryan sword. I can't do it because I know their history. But am I happy with the sword that I got? Yeah, I'm happy with it. I cut through some very, very thick bottles today. It did very well. It got one of the most impressive statics I've ever gotten on the first try. And that's the cut I was talking about a minute ago. But I mean, I really can't say anything bad about this particular piece. You may have a different experience. You may get it. It may be a piece of crap. It may not be heat treated properly. It could be anything. So it's up to you. The swords that I recommend, of course, are Hanwei, HSTS, Mass, martial arts sword, Mass. Dynasty Forge, I only have one. I've worked on two, but I only own one. They're okay. They're good. Ryan sword, it's just a 50-50 chance with them. So, buy at your own risk. I took a risk, and I was lucky. I'll say that. But it's a very nice sword. It performed very well. And I will oil it again after I get done handling it. I'm trying to show everything about it. It's just a great sword. I mean, I'm not trying to sell you on it. I mean, I'm just trying to basically defend my reason for buying it. I did a lot of cutting on it. I did an hour session. A lot of screw ups because I'm not used to it, and I've been not in a slump, but I just haven't had much motivation to cut here lately. As you'll see in the video, it started snowing on me. My camera kept falling off. My tripod kept falling over with my phone attached to it. Started snowing, I said that. Just the wind was terrible. It was freezing cold outside. I just had a really bad experience with it today. And, but I'll get to that later in a drunken rant video. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Black Mamba. I forgot to tell you the name of it. It's called the Black Mamba. For those that are interested. And once again, I'm not suggesting you buy it. But for those that are interested, it's on the Ryan Sword website. Just type it into the search. You can request either through Hardened or T10. This is the T10 or the Pro version, as Donnie named it. There's a Pro and a Standard. Standard is the same thing, it's just tougher. But it won't hold an edge as good as this one. So, decide for yourself what you want. I will say I hit the stand quite a few times with this, and it didn't damage it. No chips, no cracking. There is scratches on it because I was cutting some pretty thick bottles, but this is one sword I don't care if I get scratched up. So, do a swap test. Oh boy. Back up from the camera. Alright, swipe test. That's my fault. My arms are tired from all that cutting I did today. I'm kind of out of practice, I guess you could say. I haven't cut in a few weeks. Anyway, y'all know how I do it. The back edge, it'll draw, I think. Yeah, you see that? That's the back edge. But for now, I'm going to leave that as is. I did take the strop over it just to kind of, give it some kind of edge. I didn't take it to the lower grits. But you guys have a great day. Seth is out. And I will see you guys in my rant video later tonight. Because, man, have I got a story for y'all. Peace. Oh, and say my name.